Hi there, this is Vic at Four Seasons. Today we want to talk more about fertilizer. Last week we talked about what some of the numbers mean, the N, P, and the K, and we want to delve in a little bit deeper now so you understand the reason you see so many fertilizers, such as just a few that we have here, why we have so many different fertilizers for different things. Because there are lots of times there is a purpose for different fertilizers. We're going to start out with something that looks kind of funny. These two both are 7-22-8. And one's for tomatoes and vegetables, and the other one is for premium bedding plants and perennials. And why would you have both of those being the same thing? Well, lots of times our soil is not great, and you need to have a high middle number, that phosphorus there, for fruits and flowers. Okay, so fruits and flowers, and of course tomatoes and vegetables are basically, they fruit from the flowers. And so that's one reason we'd have that. One of the reasons that we believe so strongly about fertilizer is in this area, there's almost never anywhere near enough fertilizer, especially nitrogen, in the soil. Nitrogen leaches out almost immediately. In 5 to 10 days, 20 days, depending on the kind of nitrogen you're using, it's leached out and gone away, and the plant has no access to it anymore. So I'm a big proponent of reapplying on a regular basis different kinds of fertilizers. One of the things that we'd like to talk to you about is this Blossom Booster, once again, which is a 10-30-20, okay? And this is a soluble fertilizer. This is a water-soluble fertilizer. You put this on, usually there's a scoop inside here, that you scoop one of those scoops into a gallon of water, and that's just about perfect. The thing that this is great for is for hanging baskets and other containerized annuals. It really works well. It gives you a good boost to get lots of flowers, but it has plenty of nitrogen in there, which you definitely need for hanging baskets. We recommend about 3 times a week with a soluble fertilizer like this on your hanging baskets to keep them really looking premium. So another thing, there's another reason that you have things. This is another soluble fertilizer. This is an acid fertilizer. It's organic, and sometimes if you want to have blueberries or you have hydrangeas and you want to have them be blue, you'd want to use an acid fertilizer. Once again, it's the same thing as what we just talked about. There's a scoop in here. You just scoop out one scoop and put it in a gallon of water, and just add that to your plant every time you water. So that's good. There's lots of organic things. We talked about organic fertilizers. There's another whole realm of fertilizers. Usually, the nitrogen, the phosphorus, and the potassium are not as strong. They don't have as high of a percentage of those three numbers in each of them, just because it's hard to get organic fertilizers that have a high amount of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. They're still great fertilizers. I highly recommend the Happy Frog for your tomato and vegetables. Once again, it's a 5-7-3, and the reason that I recommend the Happy Frog so much, especially for tomatoes, is because the amount of calcium that it has. You need calcium to prevent blossom end rot on your tomatoes. And I'd rather be proactive and apply it when you plant your tomatoes than reactive and say, oh, I got a problem and I have to fix it. So this is a great fertilizer for that. Another thing, this is an encapsulated fertilizer. The classic coat is something that I use oftentimes as a baseline. The reason this is so great is because every time you water, it gets a little bit of fertilizer released into the container or the bed that you're using it in. So I often use this as a base fertilizer and then supplement it with a water-soluble fertilizer. And so if you forget for 4 or 5 days to come back with fertilizer, this will keep you your plants from starving. So that's another reason we use that. Now is a great time of the year and very important to be fertilizing your trees and shrubs. Even your fruit trees, it's very important to use this. And I just put mine out right before the snow came, luckily, and had we had a lot of snow, and it went into the ground. And that's really important to put this on before your trees leaf out. That's the most important time to feed. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention some lawn food. Lawn food plus iron. Lots of times you'll be fertilizing your lawn, you'll say, it still doesn't look quite green enough, doesn't look quite right. And one of the reasons is because oftentimes if there's not enough iron in the soil, it doesn't green up real well. So that's one reason why we're promoting the Lawn Food Plus iron. Once again, it's got a really high number of nitrogen, 28%. And the reason that's so high is because it's released over a long period of time, usually about 60 to 90 days for all the nitrogen to go away. So that's just a quick synopsis on some of the different fertilizers and why we recommend them. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call or contact me, and I'll be happy to help you any way I can. Thank you.